Alright guys, today I am going to be sharing with you our antique booth sales for the month of July. So this was last month. I'm a little bit behind with this, but I typically can't do it until the month after the sales month because I'm still waiting for my paper that I just need to write down all of my numbers and gather my pictures and things like that. So I'm still kind of new to doing these types of videos, but I will just reiterate that the price that I say when I say it's sold for is the ticket price. That doesn't include our 10% off or, you know, that kind of thing. So this is going to be for the month of July. Now, our mall did kind of like a Christmas in July event, so we did put in just a couple pieces of Christmas. We didn't want to go too crazy because it won't be long until, you know, Christmas is upon us and we'll be, you know, redecorating everything for Christmas. So we did put in some stuff and that did help. I do feel like July was a better sales month than compared to June. And I think the Christmas in July helped that a bit because we sold some more expensive Christmas trees. So let's just get started. As always too, I am consciously trying to remember to take pictures of everything I'm putting into the booth so I have nice clear pictures for you when I can show you the picture and it's clear and you can see it good. But as always, there are still some that I feel like could be better because I'm kind of like zooming in on them a little bit, if you know what I mean. So let's just get started. The first thing that I have was this little ceramic lion trinket box. It's had a little lion on top of it. That sold for $12. I also sold just this tiny little brass dog. I definitely feel like brass tends to sell in the booth. I feel like everything that we put in that was brass has sold. So it's definitely something I think people look for. So this little brass dog sold for $9. Let's see, we have a Fenton Carnival vase that sold for $45. I actually have two of them in there. They're pretty much look exactly the same. So one of them sold. There is still another one in there. We sold a flag that had a frog on it and it said "Stay Weird," so a garden flag. That sold for $9. Let's see, we sold a clear Viking glass fairy lamp for $55. A Fenton milk glass vase. This was just kind of like a smaller, well, you can see it, little like trumpet style hobnail vase. That sold for $12. This next item was really neat. Found this at an auction. Someone had converted an old blowtorch into a lamp. So when it was plugged in, like they even had like one of those flickering bulbs in it. So it looked like it was shooting a flame kind of thing. It was so cool looking. That sold for $35. We sold a book. I sold a book. I always get so excited when I sell a book in the booth. Speaking of, I have a stack of books behind me. I will be having a Whatnot show on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Eastern Standard Time, if anybody's interested in that. But I did sell a Colleen Hoover book called Ugly Love for $5. Every Colleen Hoover book I've put in the booth has sold, so just throwing it out there. I sold a, I keep saying but me and Eric, we sold a uranium glass cereal bowl for $20. Also sold a pottery bowl. This one was by Salmon Falls and it had some, I believe it was blueberries on the front. That sold for $26. we sold that large hanging peacock for $89. So I was so happy that that was out of there because it took a lot of wall space. We also sold, here's another kind of thing that was hanging on the wall. This was a P. Buckley Moss art piece that sold for $39. Also sold this Tupperware ketchup and mustard condiment set for $9. Funny story, Eric was at the auction the other day, and I think I've told you guys before, sometimes like when people get trays of stuff and they only wanted like one thing off of it, they either like pass it around to other people to see if they want anything off of it, or it just gets thrown in the trash. And one of these someone was about to throw in the trash. I don't know if it was the ketchup or the mustard, but Eric took it and he's like, well, maybe we'll find the other one, because we had sold a set of them just very recently here in the booth. So now we have one. We got to find another one. Let's see, we sold a mushroom mug. This was like a white milk glass with mushrooms all around it. That sold for $18. Then we sold both of our, someone bought both of these, butterfly stained glass lamps. The first one was blue colored. That one sold for $35. And then the other one was more of like a yellow and blue. That one sold for $40. Eric figured out the prices for these specifically, and I forget the reasoning why he priced one at $35 and one at $40. I think one was just maybe ever so slightly smaller. I don't know exactly what his reasonings were behind that, but whoever bought them, they bought both of them. We sold one of our gravel arts. This one was of the owls. That sold for $65. I love when stuff goes off the walls. We sold just this vintage wooden box, like a little jewelry box that had a unicorn on the front for $9. Sold a Jim Shore cat for $25. Then we sold, Eric sold one of his Norman Brum chickadee birds for $85. Then we sold this really large glass owl vase for $35. Then here was the first tree that sold. We put this tree in and it sold like the same day we put it in. It was a 4-foot aluminum pom-pom tree that sold for $275. Then we also sold, here's another little brass item. This one was a brass owl that sold for $6. I think Kate, Follow That Bug, I think she purchased that. She sometimes buys stuff in our booth. It's so fun. I always like to watch her videos, and like whenever she goes to the antique mall that we're at, I like to see her shop our booth because she sometimes buys things. So shout out to Kate if you're watching this. I've run into her before. She's so sweet. We also sold a Santa flag. Again, this one we sold for $10 since it was Christmas related. I will say garden flags, we do sell a decent amount of them. So it's definitely one of those like small things that we like to put in the booth for not a whole lot of money. We're not making like a huge profit on it or anything like that, but it's nice to keep it themed with our stuff that we're selling, and people do seem to really enjoy them, and we have been selling a decent amount of them. That's why I like to pick them up. We also sold an Imperial Carnival glass vase for $23. I think this one did have a small issue, if I'm not mistaken. And if there is something that we put in the booth that has any kind of condition issue, we'll either write as is on the tag, and then usually, you know, once you see that as a shopper, you're looking for, you know, the issue. But if I have enough space on the tag to write exactly what any kind of issue is, then I'll do that. I don't like selling stuff that has issues that I'd even have to write anything like as is on the tag, but sometimes it happens, especially with like glass, just having like, you know, those little tiny flea bites and things like that. So it's just unfortunate with that kind of stuff, because you don't want to throw it away because it's still perfectly usable and still perfectly, you know, looks great displayed, but it's not 100% perfect, if you know what I'm saying. So we sold a set. This again is some Christmas stuff. This was a set of 2 old Poland glass Christmas ornament bulbs. Those sold for $6. We sold a snail-shaped candle holder for $10. Then we also sold this set of Shell.Belle salt and pepper shakers for $9. Here's another mushroom item. Mushrooms are still really hot. This one was a napkin holder that sold for $29. This next item, there were 2 of them, 2 different colors, and the person purchased both. They were these little butterfly ceramic liqueur bottles. I think they would have had like the creme de menthe syrup, if I'm pronouncing that right. I mean, obviously there wasn't anything in them anymore, but they just came with some stuff we won at an auction, so we put them in. One was like a little yellow butterfly that sold for $7, and then the other one was red, and that one also sold for $7. So here's another really large Christmas tree. This one obviously way larger than the pom-pom tree. This one was a 6.5-foot aluminum tree. Wasn't a pom-pom tree, just an aluminum tree. And that one sold for $475. So one thing we do, and we don't do this all the time for everything or anything like that, but when we have something real big like that tree, the 6.5-foot tree, Eric will sometimes make up a Facebook Marketplace listing for that item and then say in the description where it's located, you know, in our antique booth, the booth number, the antique mall address, and all of that stuff. And sometimes that helps get people in to either, you know, look at said item or potentially purchase said item. And that's what happened with this tree. He made the Facebook Marketplace listing and he had someone message saying that they were going to go in and take a look at this tree and hopefully buy it, and she did. So that's awesome, and that's just an idea just with your bigger items to make a Facebook Marketplace posting for them, and then, you know, make mention in your description where your booth is located and that kind of thing. So it's not just helping you sell said item, but it's also bringing in a potential customer to your mall. So, you know, if they're in for something, they're probably going to look around at other vendors as well and potentially buy more. So you're getting them in the door as well. So just an idea to do Facebook Marketplace with some stuff. I wouldn't crowd Facebook Marketplace with your booth or anything like that, but when you have something real large and real cool that you think is going to need that one specific customer, then that's when I would try and do it. And that did come with, the tree came with the color wheel as well. Let's see, then we sold a little green leaf planter for $9. And the last thing that we sold for the month of July was the bunch of lucite grapes for $29. So that is everything for the month of July's booth sales. Like I said, it was definitely, we made more in July than we did June. And I think, you know, it had to do because of those 2 very more expensive trees that sold. So as far as August goes so far, I think we're doing pretty good. We just sold yesterday one of our expensive glass pieces It was a Fenton Vaseline glass vase that we sold yesterday for a decent amount. And then you guys saw we switched a lot of our booth over to Halloween. So hopefully we'll start seeing some Halloween stuff go. We are going to be going to the booth today to restock a little in our glass case because so like we've been getting wiped out of our Vaseline glass. So I want to put in a cup. I have another Vaseline glass basket. I sold one already. I had one on eBay, but I'm going to take that down since it's sold in the booth so quickly. And put another one of those in, and just a couple more glass pieces to put in our glass case. And we sold a Halloween melted popcorn, and if you guys saw our video, we had a whole tote left over of Halloween stuff. We couldn't even fit into the booth because we didn't have room. So we sold one of our melted popcorn Halloweens, and we're gonna put another one in. And also in that video you saw like we had that whole section. Eric put that wooden wood piece, that board, up on top of our shelving unit, and there was like a little section that kind of like hung off the side, and his idea was to put like a hook onto the end of that so like we can hang something from the side there. And I have the perfect thing to put there right now for Halloween. It is a little flying witch on a broom. So we're gonna stop at Walmart and buy a hook so we can take that to the booth, put that in, and actually get that witch in there and hung up. So, and I have other plans of putting stuff there, you know, as each time we're restocking the booth and things like that. Like mentally I'm gonna be thinking about that hook now of what I can hang there. So I'm excited about that. Trying to think if there's anything else kind of booth related that I want to talk about. I feel like there's not much. Like I said, you guys know we put in all of our Halloween stuff. We will probably be switching to Christmas. What are we in? We're in August. Maybe October we'll be switching to Christmas. It seems so weird, but you know, you have to kind of stay on top of that kind of stuff like when stores are doing things, because you know, once people see that, like especially with Halloween, like I think like the shoppers call it code orange. So it's like as soon as people start seeing Halloween stuff, it just becomes this whole thing, and then people are just going crazy wanting to look for Halloween goodies. And I like looking for Halloween goodies like year round, but I was just so excited to put Halloween stuff in the booth. And you know, there's even more stuff that we're trying to put in, but we just don't have the room right now. So hopefully some stuff like starts selling Halloween related so I can put in some more Halloween. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you're doing well. Again, I apologize, I haven't been making videos as often as I probably should be, but you know, I've just been doing my thing. Like this past week, again, I didn't go to yard sales. Today's not a bad day, but yesterday and the day before, we got a lot of the remnants from that hurricane that came through. So it was just so rainy and flooding and all of that horrible stuff. So there was no way I was going to go out yard selling in any of that. And then this coming week, I'm going to another book sale with my bestie. So I probably won't be yard selling again next week. I don't know. We'll see. I guess I'm just taking a little bit of a break. It's not like I need to go sourcing. I don't need to source by any means. I have plenty of stuff that I can be listing. Eric still goes to auctions fairly frequently. He was just at an auction the other day. He was trying to win some Halloween blow molds, but you know, there's people obviously collecting as well to not resell. So when you're trying to win stuff to resell, but there's a collector wanting to buy it, there's really no money that's going to be left in it to resell. So he didn't win any of those blow molds because they were, I mean, I assume and hopefully they were going to collectors because of the prices they were paying. But so no blow molds, but I think he did win a really awesome Fenton glass Christmas tree for like $4, which is insane because I think it's worth like maybe close to 80 bucks. So that was a really great score, and I feel like he won a couple other things as well. So it wasn't for nothing, but so yeah, I'm still getting stuff from auctions and things like that. So it's not like I really have to go to yard sales right now, but I do kind of miss going as well. But maybe hopefully soon I'll get back into it while the weather is still good. And there's probably still gonna be some church sales and stuff this year yet. I know there's one I like to go to that I haven't seen them post anything, but I feel like they typically have it this month or next month, I want to say. So I have to keep my eyes peeled. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you thought down in the comments. If you have an antique booth and you want to share how sales have been going for you, or even just share where your booth is, because there's always a potential someone who's reading the comments might be close by and it's like, oh, I'm going to check out, you know, this antique mall or what have you, you know what I mean? So don't be afraid to self-promote in my comment section or anything like that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.